So, new Great Spider-Man update, PlayStation 5 portable prototype leak, new Naughty Dog game could be first or third person. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, have you finished Spider-Man PS4 or not? We're going to be talking about the game specifically today, but before that, how many of you have finished it either on the PlayStation 4 or the remastered version on PlayStation 5? So comment below, yes or no, if you've finished Spider-Man 1 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Naughty Dog first or third person game. So this was interesting to see, and it's not the first time apparently this appears. It also seems to be the same job listing from August earlier this year, but it's been brought up again by Naughty Dog. They have a job listing for a game designer level, and in the job listing it mentions the following in the bonus skills section of it: experience working on action adventure games third or first person. So when I first read this, I assumed maybe this is just them looking for general action adventure experience, but I looked and found an earlier job listing for a game designer that's not specifically a level game designer, but you'd assume they'd also be looking for general experience from first or third person experience either way, but I couldn't find that in that listing there. Looking more into this, apparently this made the rounds back in August as well this year, and this came up. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, one could argue that this might be a generic job description and the role is open to anyone with experience in either first or third person. While that could be true, we recall comments made by Naughty Dog boss Neil Druckmann at the DICE Summit in 2018, where he said that the studio is totally open to going first person. While talking about The Last of Us, Druckmann revealed that Naughty Dog considered a first person perspective before settling on third person. He added that the next game that we do might not be third person. So this could be the case for their new IP, or it could be the studio going for maybe a hybrid Resident Evil 8 styled approach where you offer both third and first person for The Last of Us Part 3 maybe. This is currently just a job listing and it's just mentioned in the bonus skills section, so it could be nothing, but considering Neil's past comments, it's interesting to think about. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now diving into the second story of the video, Great Spider-Man update. Reading from Twisted Voxel, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Insomniac Games' 2018 web-swinging adventure Marvel's Spider-Man has generated almost $4 billion in revenue, according to the LinkedIn profile of Kevin Kay, former global group marketing manager at PlayStation. Marvel's Spider-Man achieved a 971 sales surge in its first year, selling over 20 million units globally and generating $3.8 billion in revenue. Kevin drove market leadership, mentored a large team, and forged strategic partnerships to ensure sustained growth and innovation at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Notably, he led the marketing efforts for Marvel's Spider-Man. Earlier this year, Insomniac Games has announced that Marvel's Spider-Man series, comprising of Marvel's Spider-Man and its remastered version, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2, had sold over 50 million copies as of February 14th, 2024. So I've seen the conversation that even if the game sold at $60 for the entire 20 million units sold, it wouldn't come close to that $3.8 billion number, which they're right. Considering Kevin says revenue and isn't directly referencing sale, I'm assuming this is more than just the sales of the game directly. This could include merchandise, console bundles, etc., stuff like that. So it might not be direct sales, but the overall value of the game itself is clearly impactful, which we already knew. Sony's clearly made money, Disney's made money, and a lot more Marvel projects are coming from Insomniac Games in the future, as we've seen from the leaks. But you guys let me know if you're surprised by this number or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, the PSP3, and that there's more backing to it now, even from what we've already heard recently. So recently we heard from Bloomberg that Sony is actively working on a PlayStation handheld that's still a few years away from releasing. This handheld is set to play PlayStation 5 games, according to them. This was interesting to read because previously we heard from Moore's Law is Dead that Sony does have a handheld in the works for the PlayStation 6 era of PlayStation, and that this handheld would be able to play all PlayStation 4 games and some PlayStation 5 games via patches from developers, like how the Steam Deck has been working. Now, I think both of these points are similar, but Bloomberg probably didn't get as specific as they should with their information, like Moore's Law is Dead did, in that Sony is working on a handheld, but how will it play those PlayStation 5 games on the go? Digital Foundry recently released a video going over the PSP3 report from Bloomberg, and the exciting part here is that they have also heard about the handheld being in the works. This makes it even more clear that Sony is actively working on this thing right now that we have multiple solid sources that have stated they are, including Digital Foundry. Sony is prototyping the handheld right now. Digital Foundry also made the point that this handheld will not be able to play PlayStation 5 games directly, like how Bloomberg made it seem. They stated it more like Moore's Law is Dead, that games would need to be patched to play on the handheld, because if you're playing native PlayStation 5 games at quality mode, it'll try to run that game at upscaled 4K or native 4K depending on the game on the handheld screen, which wouldn't be possible on the go. It wouldn't be feasible, especially for battery life in that situation. They're saying that these games will need to be patched to include some type of handheld mode where the resolution is brought down to something like 1080p and run the game like that. Altogether, people are saying similar things, but in maybe slightly different ways. To simplify it, the PSP3 is in the works and Sony is prototyping. The handheld will be able to play PlayStation 4 games natively, but for PlayStation 5 games, it's probably going to need to be patched to run that on device, even if it's a few years away with newer AMD hardware. So I'm fine with patching PlayStation 5 games to run on this thing, because you don't need it to run at 4K, 1080p is fine, but I worry how many developers will support that in 2027 or 2028. Patch this PlayStation 5 game that launched in 2022 to play on this handheld in 2028. If it's easy to patch the games for this new handheld, then it could be easy money for developers from a new audience of players, because the handheld audience is different than just the straight console audience. And for anyone worried about this launching in the PlayStation 6 era and playing PlayStation 5 games, remember how long cross-generation has been for the PlayStation 4 this generation. It'll be even longer for the PlayStation 5 when the PlayStation 6 launches, meaning you'd have games to play well into the PlayStation 6 era. Let's see how this goes, but you guys let me know if you're excited for the PSP3 or not. Let me know down in the comments below, and if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. As it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is the body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with 30 years of greatness. So tomorrow is the 30th anniversary of the original PlayStation. Obviously, I don't release a video tomorrow, so we're going to celebrate it right now. I've been playing on PlayStation since the original console. I didn't play the original console at launch. I played it in the early 2000s. Then I got the PS2 after launch, obviously. And then I got the PS3 at launch. And then I got the PS4 at launch. And then the PS5 at launch. So I'm a big fan of PlayStation, and I know you guys are as well. So let's celebrate it together. Destroy the comment section with 30 years of greatness. And I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.